Carrier Beta 2 in full swing, I went out to investigate a thing or two. Much like a lot of you watching right now, I don't like a few aspects of the fleet carriers, and so I inquired developers to at least explain a few of them. First, the jump penalty, the hull maintenance thing, and the need to buy ships and modules in bundles rather than individual parts. And as it happened, the PR team were quick to respond, so props to them. Starting with the jump penalty, my question was, why have such a small credit penalty for making a jump rather than to have it just consume more fuel, like 2 to 3 more tons of tritium, and have that the same as credit offset? The answer, however, was interesting. Just like with smaller ships that incur wear and tear, it's no different here, but you are suddenly dealing with much larger vessels. Fleet carriers are massive new ships, and moving them across the galaxy is no easy feat. The wear and tear costs will help capture the sheer requirement of moving a ship this magnitude across the galaxy. So this is a story/lore or narrative explanation of a game mechanic. What I mean by this is, it's the same to me like saying,
hey, if you lift off that landing pad, you pay 5 million extra credits because Aston Duval told you you have to do that. The space warfare requires sacrifice.
See, yes, this is an excuse and gives the in-game lip service as to why, but in real life, it does not contribute to tell me what gameplay does such a thing serve. Alright, so let's say this is the breakdown of every jump you make. This part is that 100 credit penalty that you incur every time you jump, regardless how far. And then this is gonna be the 10-ton minimum value or minimum tritium amount that you need to spend to jump anywhere. Okay, and the rest is essentially what you do, or rather what you incur distance penalty wise, or well, depending on how far you jump. So that should display you at least how jump is segmented. So instead of coming to me and telling me that the jump penalty is just there to ensure that the player spends at least some credits on each jump, okay, in that case my question would be, why does it even need to exist? But whatever, they didn't even do that. Instead, their response was, it creates immersion. Sorry, but lore explanations don't serve as good backing for your game design. The thing is, even if you want to have carriers to show that it's not an easy task to jump one and that it has wear and tear, how about this? This! Visuals speak the loudest, cause no one gives a flying baby Yoda corpse like fuck about the credit penalty. All it creates is unrepresentative upkeep numbers that serve to only confuse people. Trust me, I know. Cause I was confused myself for the first time. So instead of this lazy attempt to show the wear and tear, how about you actually put in some effort and, I don't know, visually represent the damage after each jump? I mean, how cool would that be? As we move on then to buying stock. Well, at least this one wasn't excused with lore bullshit. Anyways, I asked, and for the bundles of modules etc., why not allow players single module picks to truly allow customized outfitting etc.? Answer surprisingly came in multiple parts, so let's go over all of it in each part separately. The way you stock fleet carriers outfitting service has been designed in a way to enable commanders to dramatically stock the fleet carrier, and somehow manually restocking modules would not be thematic enough? What bullshit is this? Yes, it probably would be harder to find the type or theme that the owner is going for with his outfitting, but themes are for role-playing nerds. And totally no one cares about them. Reduce pressure on fleet carrier owner and avoid errors, such as you stock your fleet carrier with limpet controllers, few thousands of light years across the galaxy until you realize you stocked the wrong size/type. Well, you're referring to people forgetting limpets on mining all the time? Well, in that case, you're completely correct. That crap is really annoying. However, that does not excuse you from locking people out of the ability to manually spec out their stock. In fact, these bundles should exist, yes, but only as a helpful tool to stock the carrier quickly. See, developers often talk about the choice for the player to do what they want, the way they want it. In fact, that's the same main excuse they give me when I ask why is there open, private and solo play modes. You have the choice to play the game you want, the way you want it. So now coming to me and telling me that you only offer bundles to force people not to make silly mistakes if they screw up is kind of hypocritical, isn't it? On top, not giving people manual stocking choice limits their customizability, which also was the excuse you gave us for delaying fleet carriers in December.
So obviously we previously sent out a video, a trailer on fleet carriers last year, and some things over that time has changed. Obviously we had a bit more longer to kind of look at them, and we had a look and we decided that we wanted to make some changes. Can you just explain what those changes are?
We've made it more cool.
It's more cool.
Yeah. So the original loadouts where we had things like exploration, bounty hunting, you know, we had things that were focused around kind of the primary activities of the game, like the main sort of routes or careers that people take, and it just didn't feel quite as good as we thought it should do. So we looked at that again, and we realized that the answer is to make it up to the player. So as the owner of a fleet carrier, if I want to go bounty hunting, great, fit my carrier for bounty hunting. If I want to go out long range exploring, great, you know, add a bunch of stuff to your fleet carrier that allows you to go exploring like you've never been able to do before. You can do a whole...
You wanted to give us more customizability, but apparently not so much. Help visitors identify what kind of modules they might come to expect on a fleet carrier, especially those based in remote regions offering combat-related or mining-related modules. Okay, this one actually delves into a deeper issue. How a player can tell what stock, and better yet, what commodity market does a carrier have if you don't give the players in the first place a proper and easy way to check from galaxy or system maps. This really is more of an admittance of not having more helpful tools in-game for the general gameplay than an excuse for fleet carrier predictability. Now seriously, tell me, what would be better? A helpful tool that allows anyone inspect from anywhere in the galaxy what the fleet carrier, and in fact maybe even some starports, what they have in stock without manually visiting them, or to have bundles on fleet carriers? I sure know what would be the best one and which one would be the lazy one. Do you? But anyways, finally, stocking individual modules takes a long time. Doing this might be interesting the first couple of times, but we feel that it becomes quite a laborious process, and we opted for stocks of modules and ships instead. For example, there are currently 109 limpet controllers handled by one type of stock selection currently. Do I even need to point this out? Or you can spell the writing on the wall already? Just like with the last argument you presented, don't you think that 109 types of controllers speaks of much bigger issue in the game?
Make one master limpet controller.
And second, yes, you're right, stocking and restocking ships already is a massive bitch to do, which is also why a lot of us want loadouts for ships, plus to have that weapon selling screen lockout fixed. Which again, I did ask you whether or not it was a bug or intended, and you told me it was a bug, so fix it! But here's my point. Those that are in hurry, they will use the bundles. That's a great time saver. But if you combine it with manual selection, don't you think it would become more customizable and helpful? I don't know about you, but when I go killing Targoids, I only need heat sinks and maybe a point defense, not the whole shebang of ECMs. So instead of that, I'd much rather pick up one extra module reinforcement in case. See, if your point is about boring time stocking the fleet carrier, well, you already have introduced a shortcut. Now what we need is the long road that the shortcut belongs to in the first place. And those that will choose to take that long route will do so knowing it takes longer, but would have a reason for doing so. But that's about enough. In the end, I can tell you, it's nice to see reasoning behind, well, at least one of the features that does not devolve into bullshit lore explanations that serve really no purpose other than just say,
God told you to do so!
the stalking is restrictive for restrictiveness' sake, when in reality it speaks of a wider issue in the game than about itself. When in reality we could actually have a perfect combination of both, the manual and the shortcut stalking. And as for jump penalty, I don't know, it's just the way it's explained, it's either inept design or really has no purpose. In either way, if you want us to feel how our massive
Internet space penis!
is, well, maybe put in that wear and tear in a visual medium, not in an annoying little bloodsucker way. So, there you go. See, this is what happens when you provide more reasoning behind your design choices. All of a sudden, your friendly neighborhood hypercritical cunt provides detailed feedback. And I bet those that are watching here too, like me, would like to pitch in on a few more feedbacks and whatnot else. But knowing most, well, we all want the stalking to go manual at least. And if you want to keep the shortcuts, all the better. Right? Well, as per usual, if you find my investigations, not just mad ramblings of a psychotic loony, entertaining, and you want to further the conversation, join my Discord. Or hey, if you want to support the channel, subscribe, and why not, share the video too. But if you want to do a little bit more than that, well, Patreon and merch store links are down below. For now, this is it, and I'll see what I can investigate or find out more, and, do the pseudo-journalism. And no, that's not a euphemism for sucking dick!